Moving on, we have requests to address the board. Mr. Rohn, you're up. Floor is yours, sir. Thank you.
Good morning. I apologize that I'm having to wear my mask while I address you, but I'm currently a close contact to 2 COVID positive toddlers at home, so I'll be leaving my mask on out of respect for everyone in the room. I hope that it doesn't muffle my message today. I'm not here to badger the board, but to share my thoughts and experience. My name is Greg Rohn. I'm currently a paraprofessional at Jefferson Middle School and Vice President of Paraprofessional Local Union 6183. I'm here today for a few reasons. I first want to thank all of you for taking the time and stepping up and being willing to do your jobs at a time when probably no one wants them. The decisions you have to make, no one planned on making these decisions for Midland Public Schools, but here we are. I'm here to tell you that some of the staff at the schools are doing really well and handling the stress of COVID very well. But I'm also here to tell you that many, many, many more are not doing so well. Their mental health is suffering. Seeing our colleagues and students go out with COVID and other illness is disheartening. We know that COVID could be a death sentence for any one of our friends, family, students, or coworkers. We know the emotional, physical, spiritual toll that quarantine and isolation can take on a person. Being out of work or knowing we have many coworkers not at work, not being able to help the young minds at school grow and learn is troubling. We also know that when these people are getting sick and not able to work, it puts those of us at schools even more shorthanded, meaning now staff that is pushed to the max has to do more. We must come up with new and inventive ways to make sure that all the classes in the schools are covered, or at a bare minimum that all the students are supervised and safe each day. In the schools where education happens, many students are struggling too. We are not just names and numbers on a spreadsheet, but educators, administrators, paraprofessionals, school staff, and students that are stretched to the max. Something has to give at some point. We also know that schools are the best place for young minds to learn and grow around trained professionals, not sitting at home in front of a computer with connectivity issues and distractions that home can bring. So the thought of closing schools also raises a lot of anxiety for everybody involved. This is seemingly a stuck between a rock and a very, very hard place, if ever there has been one. I am not here to tell you what the decisions are that you need to make. I'm simply here to implore you to listen to the experts in their respective fields as to what is happening in our community. I urge you to heed the advice and experience of medical professionals and educational professionals who are in the district schools, who see what is happening each day. Take all the information you have available to you and make the decisions you know to be right in your guts, your heads, and your hearts. If anyone here would like to see what we are up against in the schools, I'd be happy to have any one of you join me for a day at school. I would be more than happy to share my experiences with you firsthand if you want that. If you would like, I'd be happy to share my contact information and we can talk privately, because I want to be a part of the solutions for Midland Public Schools and not a part of the problems for Midland Public Schools. I'm here to help kids get the education that they deserve. Once those decisions are made, though, is when the work can truly start. That is the time to clearly and concisely articulate the decision to our community and stand by it and be willing to do the work to make that decision work for everyone involved. Without a clear, concise statement of why a decision made, it leaves the community to wonder and hypothesize why a decision was made. And this, as I'm sure you have seen at board meetings previously, can cause a lot of problems. And proactivity always tops reactivity when young minds are at stake. One side or the other may yell very loud, but that does not make them right. What makes someone right is what makes them right, and what makes someone wrong is what makes them wrong. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to share with you today and the opportunities Midland Public Schools affords me as an employee and has afforded me as a student with the education to be able to be here today and to do the things that I am doing.
Mr. Rohn, I'm going to stop you there. It's been 3 minutes, even though it's okay. I've been watching the time here. Yeah, thanks,
so since we didn't start the timer, can I actually have an extra minute?
You may not, sir. I'm sorry.
Right. Can I leave this with you guys so that you can
Absolutely.
finish reading the rest of what I was going to say, because I'm passionate about what we're doing, and I feel for the kids, and there are people out there struggling, and I think you can hear it in my voice that I'm struggling too.
We appreciate you being here and appreciate your passion. Thank you. Yes, please leave that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I have to leave, but I do need to get back to Jefferson because I have students now.
Okay. And first up this evening, we have Mr. Larry Levy, please. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Scott. Fighting a little cold. I have a few remarks for the board that grew out of my attending the VFW meeting of the Moms for Liberty the other night. Some thoughts on that. My name is Larry Levy. My family and I moved to Midland 45 years ago when I was hired to teach English and literature at Delta College. In my years of full-time teaching, I taught at every level from preschool through graduate school and in diverse settings. For years, I taught exploratory teaching, a course for college sophomores interested in K through 12 teaching careers. The course took me into public and private school classrooms all over the Tri-Counties and beyond. Some of those former students are teaching in Midland now. For 7 years, I chaired the English division at Delta. I've also volunteered in many classrooms and have co-directed with my wife about 20 Midland youth theater productions. I've coached many youth sports for boys and girls and older kids as well, including college. In other words, I have paid some dues in real classrooms. I have some idea what teachers do all day, the challenges they face. I have certainly learned how humbling teaching can be, as well as how rewarding. And having been also twice elected to the MPS board, I have some idea what it takes, the time and patience it requires to be a decent member of a board of education. Among other qualities, it helps to have some humility. If elected, you get one seat and one vote. If you want to be taken seriously, you learn quickly or eventually to respect those you work with, your board colleagues, your superintendent, and all district administrators, all the district's teachers and employees, all the students with their diverse interests and needs, and all your constituents. Back in the day, I had a board colleague who often used the phrase, our constituents, as in our constituents want us to do this, or our constituents require that. Typically, he would say that in defense of a vote we were about to take, implying that his vote was the right one. Many times I voted with this man. On a few occasions I did not. And on one occasion, when he reminded me what our constituents wanted, I stopped him. You keep using those words, I said. Have you taken some poll of our community with which I am unfamiliar? Do you have your finger on the pulse of our community in a way I do not? My hunch, as I told him, was that when he said our constituents, he was probably referring not to the whole of the community, but to a slice. His co-workers, people in his neighborhood, members of his church or social club, people who voted like him. I have a similar hunch about the Moms for Liberty and their Year of the Parent, that they are parents, sure, but do they speak for all parents? I am certain they do not.
Mr. Levy, I've got a question, sir. I'm sorry. 3 minutes.
Am I excused? You're going to let me finish?
No, we have a 3-minute rule. You've gone over 30 seconds or so, and that's how we do it. I'm sorry. Everybody is the same.
Don't be sorry. Let me finish. I've been running a cold all day working on the speech, and it's not that much longer.
I apologize, sir. I treat everybody the same way. They can run over a little bit, but we don't let it stray much beyond that.
I'm just getting to the heart of it.
I'm sorry.
So am I. For your sake, and for the sake of the district and the community. Somebody needs to say something.